What's going on, fishy friends? My name is Grant Elliott, and I will be the host tonight of the Invasives Tournament update, the Lucky and Blessed Fishing Invasives Tournament update. And tonight we are honored to welcome special guest Stephen Kambotrout Kambouris. We will also have Chuck Jones of Salty Sirens Fishing joining us tonight. So lots to talk about. But first, he just joined us. He just hopped in the stage. I'm going to bring on Scott Steers, president of Lucky and Blessed, and I'm also going to bring in Conrad Malyard to give us a tournament update. Conrad, how's it going, buddy?
Good. I'm actually driving back from work right now, but I'm here.
Right on. Scott, how are you, sir?
Lucky and blessed, brother. I'm lucky and blessed.
Well, like we always do about this time, for those of us who don't know about Lucky and Blessed, can you give us the lowdown? Tell us about this wonderful organization that I'm lucky enough to be a part of.
Yeah, man. Well, we are, and we say it all the time. We're lucky and blessed, and we certainly are to be able to get to do what we do. We started this thing, I guess, about 3.5 years ago as a fishing club, and just because of my the feeling that I got being by the water, but also the feeling of the sense of belonging that I got from being part of this community. And so that's really was the driving force behind Lucky and Blessed Fishing is, obviously fishing, but not just fishing with the idea of getting together and forming community, building relationships. And that's really where it went from there. And then all of a sudden, organizations like the ARC and Bella McCree, Bay Community Support Services, a lot of these adult agencies that provide meaningful day programs for adults with different abilities started finding us. They're like, man, this population really loves to go fishing, but they also love getting like wristbands that say really cool things. They love the community aspect of it. Right now, Grant, as you know, we're basically we've put 3 slots for these adult groups in our schedule, and they're full. Like literally every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to be in one of 8 different counties in Maryland with these adult groups, and we're just blown away by the impact that we're able to make with these folks by taking them to do something that they probably never, for the most part, have been asked to do or allowed to do. So that's really a big part of us, man, is just providing access for this population, but not just this population. We like to say all abilities, Grant, because we never started this thing and said, hey, we're going to focus on folks with different abilities. They just kind of came to us. And I think it's really because that population is underserved. That population really needs to and deserves to have access to these great, beautiful outdoors and the activities that we have right here in Maryland, right? So we're providing access to the outdoors for them, but also we've found that we're providing access to myself, our team, our crew, our volunteers, Exelon, BG&E, Chick-fil-A, these organizations that have come out and done these corporate volunteerism things with us. And they're just blown away because they realize that they've been kept from this beautiful population their whole lives, right? So now, fast forward to today, we made a huge impact on the adults, but now we're shifting gears. We've worked with kids and youth through our camps already, and through Boundless Adventures, one of our local partners. But now we're really shifting towards, we want to make a difference with school-age kids. Right now, middle school kids, Grant, I can't imagine how they're not out of their minds with the world the way it is, right? These are kids that in elementary school, they were COVID kids, okay? So they went through all that, right? Now they're going through, hey, is my dad, a government worker going to get a paycheck this month? Like watching TikTok and seeing all kinds of things that they shouldn't be seeing on TikTok that, really the numbers right now are about 1 in 3 middle school students are struggling with some kind of either a disability, ADHD, autism, but also mental stress, anxiety, all the things. And I'm sure that number 1 in 3 is probably a lot higher now with what we're in, right? So anyways, man, so we're super excited about our after school program. I had some amazing phone calls today with Annapolis Middle School folks, which is a community school. and more of an underserved population. So that's one of the reasons we're looking at that as one of our target schools. But we're hoping to get this thing, out on a pilot in the spring, because we really feel that we can change some lives of some of the kids, in the area right here in Anne Arundel County. So camp's coming up. We got our all kinds of events coming up. They're all on our website. Obviously, the biggest event is the Autism Awareness event. We are in Autism Acceptance Month here in April, so we have a ton of things going on, which it would take another 10 minutes to explain. There's so many things. The biggest things are really our first open family event, which is April 12th, this Sunday, 3:00, Annapolis Waterworks Park. Come fish, come hang out. We got a bunch of people coming already. It's going to be great. And then May 16th, put it on your calendar. That's our big, we're calling it the beach party. We got boats going out, taking our members out. We'll talk about that at the end of the meeting tonight. But we also have a shore fishing event. We have prizes. Everybody's going to walk away with prizes, some kind of free stuff that we're giving away. It's just our big community event. Grant, last year, I think we had about 65 people there. And I think we're probably going to have 85, maybe even more.
Oh, what a fun event. That sounds
and we just got a new sponsor. Big shout out to our new sponsor, Nukes Eatery. We just had an event with them last night. While I was there, sat down with Tom, and they're going to be actually sponsoring the food. So check out Nukes Eatery in Kambouris. Go look at their menu. They're going to have box lunches, sandwiches. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I think I'll be out there for the event this Sunday. So I hope everyone watching comes out and joins me and the other people and members and participants of Lucky and Blessed. We look forward to seeing you. We're going to go ahead and bring in Conrad real quick. Conrad, how are you, sir? Are you shuffling the task of a job, high school, and managing a tournament? Or you're done with high school, aren't you?
No, a couple more months.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
how was spring break?
It was good. Oh yeah. I was actually down in Florida for spring break, but I'm back now.
Did you fish? Do you have to tell us if you fished?
I was about to say, like, most teenagers going down to Florida for spring break would probably be focused on like girls and partying. But did you fish? I mean, in your position, the standards are different.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Fishing is about all I did down there. I was mostly on the saltwater catching some snook and barracuda, but I also went up in the freshwater canals and caught some bullseye snakehead up there. So it's really cool down there.
Well, you got to send me pictures next time so I can post them and you can brag about it.
All right, I will do that next time.
Well, the tournament. What's the lowdown? Anything you want to update us about, and then also remind us about how people can get involved?
Yeah, so the tournament started April 1st, so we're about a week into the tournament. So the tournament runs from April 1st to May 1st, so there's still plenty of time to join. And currently, there have been no fish logs, so if you want to join, you got a pretty good shot at taking first place. But all you got to do is the entry fee is $60, or we have a monthly option. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to our page, and once you pay the entry fee, you'll get a code submitted to you. And you'll go into the iAngler tournament, and you'll find our tournament. You enter that code. That'll enter you right into the tournament. And you'll get an identifier code. And then once you got that, you can just start fishing. You can start logging your fish. And there's a blue catfish and snakehead. You can catch blue catfish and snakehead. We have top 3 prizes for each. And we have a longest combined stringer of blue catfish and snakehead prize. So there's tons of prizes, tons of stuff to do for that tournament.
Well, can you give us an example of one of the prizes that's available?
You want me to jump in
so
on
for
this
the longest combined stringer,
he's got it.
I got a good idea. So for the longest combined stringer of blue catfish and or snakehead, there is going to be a watch from South River Company. And then first place snakehead tournament, I believe, is going to be a charter with Austin. He's going to take you guys out there on a kayak snakehead trip. And the first place blue catfish is also a charter with, I believe, Fish the Potomac.
No, Simonizer,
sorry.
Lenny Simmons, yeah.
Yep, so fishing charter with him. I'm forgetting what second place is, but I know third place is a trip with Amped Up Outdoors for the blue catfish and snakehead. If you know what second place is, Scott, you can jump in.
So we know about Lucky and Blessed. We got an update about the tournament. We know how to sign up for the tournament. Now let's bring in somebody that maybe can show someone how to win the tournament. It's a lot of pressure on you, Kambo.
That's not too much pressure, man. Let's talk about
it. Let's talk about it. How are you, sir, man? It's been a while.
It has been a while. Good to see y'all. Yeah, aside from work trying to kill me and getting ready for a move to Chicago, life is simple, man. It's no sweat.
So that's why we were going to get to that eventually, but sadly, this region will be saying goodbye to you and your lovely wife and children as you head out on a new adventure. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So my wife was accepted into the cardiothoracic surgery residency program at Northwestern Hospital in Chicago. So just a brief moment of recognition for what is an incredible achievement. I won't bore you with the details. It would take me the rest of the call to explain to you how much of an achievement it is, especially with the match process and all. It's the whole thing. But anyway, yes, June timeframe this year, we'll be making that move. And then, the smallmouth and the lake trout and muskie and everything up there will have to deal with me. So the snakehead have a little bit longer to have sore lips, and then I'll be heading that way.
Are you going to change your nickname as you move to Chicago?
Never. It's sticking. If I haven't changed it yet for snakehead, it's not changing now, man.
I made a suggestion. It should be Kambotrout, the Midwest edition.
Yeah. I like it.
Walleye, smallies. Come on.
It's like I'm huge on exploring new waters. I think that's just one of the flavors of life is getting out there and exploring new environments like that, and learning to adapt your tactics, your gear, everything like that. So the same way I've kind of always geared Kambotrout towards teaching around here in the Delmarva area, I'm gonna do the same thing up there, man. So nice. On the one hand, am I gonna miss my snakehead? Yes. Am I going to take any snakehead with me?
No.
But you're not going to carry them across borders?
No. At least not that I'll publicly admit. But no, I have no plans to bring the snakes up there. I got plenty of other fish to keep me busy. And then, 3 kids and helping Adrian through residency and covering down there. It's going to be an adventure of its own. But I'll be back. All my family and, lifelong friends, we're all over here in Maryland. So you will see me again, and I'll try to send up a signal flare when I'm heading back this way.
So you actually don't have to change your nickname.
Nah.
Because you can just change the accent, and it'll now be Kambotrout. Hey.
We'll see if I adapt that.
Hey, don't you know?
Kambotrout.
That's more like Minnesota, though, don't you know?
Yeah. I want to see if there's any change in it, honestly, because that'll be wild. Let's be real. My voice and I think my laugh is kind of one of my trademarks out there. If that does update at all, y'all let me know, because I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to live with it every day. You got to let me know.
Yeah, I lived in Chicago for 5 years. First of all, bro, that's next level cold, man.
Oh, dude, I'm not looking forward to that at all, man. These fingers, my body, it's like I've been in the cold. I was up on the DMV back when I was in the Army for my first tour over in South Korea.
Yeah.
When I tell you that was cold, oh my God, that was cold. You could see the ice rolling down out of the mountains over there in Korea. But long story short, I ain't built for it, brother. When it comes time for ice fishing and stuff like that, it's going to have to be a heck of a fish to get me out on the ice. I'm going to tell you that right now. Once it warms up, they're in trouble. When it's that dang cold, they're probably pretty safe, man. I'm going to find some fishing video games or, just edit all the content that I'm still sitting on. So
I know already you have a hard enough time, finding time to get out on the water with the kids and work and all of your other commitments. Let me go ahead and tell you something. The last year I was in Chicago, I woke up on my birthday to snow flurries. And I guess the kind of punchline to this joke is my birthday is June the 2nd.
Nah, man. Don't tell me this stuff, man.
Yeah. And that was time to go. Georgia boys got to get out of here.
It's and that's the thing is my last stop before I ended up back here in Maryland. I'm born and raised here in Maryland, but my last stop for my duty tour in the Army was down in Georgia for 5 years. Had a blast down there. Had some awesome fishing too, but Yeah, those Chicago winters, like the whole windy city, I despise the wind. I despise it with a burning passion. I'm gonna have to find all the tree line shorelines that I can to break that wind. But I mean, the smallies up there have me excited though, dude. That's my
Yeah,
second favorite freshwater fish, and they're footballs up there on the Great Lakes, dude. They are
it's good
absolute
fishing, man.
footballs.
I mean, it is good fishing in that region. It really is. Uh, up in Wisconsin, there's lots of lots of
Yeah,
good fish to catch up there. Like you said, you brought up muskie. It's good muskie fishing there.
that's bucket list for me. I'm gonna cross it off.
Yeah, if you like pike too. I
Oh,
mean,
dude, I love catching pike, man. I mean, it's wire leader time, obviously, in that scenario, but I do love catching pike.
but like, we have pickerel here, but like, a pike could eat a pickerel in one good bite.
Yeah,
So I
I mean,
mean,
even most of our pickerel here, don't get me wrong, there are some bigs here, but even most of our pickerel here in Maryland, you go up a little bit farther north and hit some, tannic water over there in Jersey. And I mean, average size pickerel will kick the butt of most of our pickerel around here. Not all of them, not all of them.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, there's going to be some wild opportunities.
Well, it's a transition for you, and let me tell you, like, it was really cool very early on. When some people were saying, "Oh man, you go over to Blackwater, you can catch this new fish called a snakehead," and I because I'm a nerd, and I was like, "Let me Google that," and I would search, I would search Snakehead, Maryland, and your name popped up, and I was like, "Who is this like hyper well-spoken dude that's talking about snakehead?" I was like, "And why does he
Snakehead
enunciate all of
Jesus.
his words so dang well?"
Yeah. It's that ADHD, man, that hyperfixation. And I mean, ever since I caught my first one, I'll never forget it. I was using a 3-inch gulp minnow and a jig head. I had no idea what I was doing for snakehead. Hanging off the side of the kayak, my old 10.5-foot sit-in. And all of a sudden, my rod tip, boom, just drops down. And so I rip it out of the rod holder, lift up. Here comes this like 13-inch fish just freaking out. Hits my lap in the kayak. It's my old sit-in kayak. I don't even have like a sit on top or anything fancy. Flop, flip, flip, flop, flop, flip, flip, flop, and then wriggles backwards and flops out of the kayak. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm in for this. And then later that day, like my buddy Jared, he catches one. He's holding it there with a pair of like needle nose pliers. It death rolls and rips its bottom jaw off and escapes. And I'm like, okay, just count.
Its own bottom jaw.
Yeah, like the whole jaw clean off. Like the level of crazy. That's the one thing I'm gonna miss as much as anything is that the half of the fight for snakehead, if not more, occurs out of the water, not in the water. And the fact that they can breathe air and never get tired or lose consciousness out of the water, I am going to miss that aspect of it because other fish just don't have that same challenge level.
Well, not to lay it on too heavy, but in watching those early videos of you catching snakehead, I don't know if I ever thought that like snakehead was going to be my thing, and it never really was. Like I'd grown up bass fishing, so it's like it wasn't different enough from that. So I really got into the salt thing, but like until I really watched your videos, I'd never really thought of like doing fishing and recording things and posting them on YouTube. So I think in terms of snakehead in this region, and making that something that people at home could experience and learn about it, you were definitely one of the frontiermen for that. And I think everyone in this region will miss you a whole lot.
No, I appreciate it, dude. I think definitely one of the highlights of the whole experience has been whenever I get those, messages or I meet people in person and then I get the feedback about things that I've helped them do or learn out there. And like, to me, that's what it's all like really about. Like I was fortunate enough to have a father and a mother who like got me into the sport, who would like drop me off to go fishing each day as I was like a young teen growing up, and being able to kind of pass that on in terms of what I do with the YouTube channel and the whole Kambotrout persona. That's what it's really been about for me. It's like I love fishing and I'll bring anyone along on my adventures just for the immersion in nature, but being able to pass on like the tips and the learning aspect of it, that's what it's always been about for me.
That's awesome. Well, as a teacher and someone that's obviously into sharing your knowledge about snakehead. What can someone do right now to do better or to improve their position in the standings of a snakehead tournament?
Yes, great question. So let me start this question. It's going to be, or this answer, it's going to meander a bit because there's always a ton of stuff to cover for snakehead. But whether we haven't lately, they're definitely getting them on top. But the key is always going to be to find your shallow south-facing coves. You want to find that water that's going to heat up first. And depending on where you are, the structure may vary. Out back in my cove over here, like I'm starting to see on those sunny afternoons, the minnows are all congregating around the riprap. Riprap are those rocks along the shorelines they use to.
You're on the Middle River, right?
Yeah. Well, roughly speaking, yeah. Over like Middle River, like Patapsco area.
Okay.
And like I'm seeing all the fish congregate around the shoreline. They're searching for that warm water. So that's number one on your list is going to be to find the warm water. Going hand in hand with that, you're going to want to find. It's not even going hand in hand. It's part of it. You want to find the water that's going to be shielded from the wind, because when you have that wind action, that turns over the water and prevents the water from warming up. So if you can find those wind-shielded shallow waters and shallow coves, that's going to be your warmest water. And if you can find any areas that still have or are starting to, grow vegetation, that's your other key. But I guess let's talk about lures right here. That's going to be a big one up there. So remind me, the tournament here, are you allowed to use live bait?
Yes.
That's another big one then. So this time of year, I mean, I do like to go out there in the early part of the season. I'll usually have minnows and lures with me. So find those big minnows around where I live. I go to Edgemere Bait and Tackle, but find your local bait shop, find the biggest minnows you can. And then I think my preference is usually going to be a 2-aught circle hook. Underneath of a float, probably between 12 to about 24 inches down was where you want to have your hook. And the one tip I'll add on there is that I like to put a small split shot, probably about 4 or 5 inches above the hook. It keeps that minnow at depth and makes it harder for it to run, easier for the fish to eat. But if you're not slinging minnows, then definitely get your chatterbaits and your inline spinners like your MEPs. Those are my best producers this early part of the year. The shallow diving, like square bill type crankbaits, that's another great one. Shallow running spinner baits. I love throwing that. You'll never have more fun than a topwater bite, but the question is, you trying to have fun or are you trying to hit that leaderboard, and get to the top? I will have the range of lures with me at all time. And that way I'm prepared for whatever the snakehead happen to want that day. If they want subsurface, I got it. If they want topwater, I got it. So yeah, find the warmest water. Find it in conjunction with the wind shielding, because snakehead just do not usually hit well when there's chop. And then have that range. I would have the minnows if you want to make it like kind of a for sure thing. And then from there, your inline spinners, your chatter baits, and then work into your spinner baits, and then eventually your top waters. They're definitely getting them on top now.
So if you were just to try to win right now, you would choose some of those subsurface baits over your topwater?
Generally speaking, yes. Like their topwater usually becomes king whenever we have enough vegetation that it makes fishing those subsurface lures problematic. And even then, you may still do better if you're in clearer water with something like a weedless swim bait. Even then, you might still do better than on top. The top water is usually best once that vegetation makes it impossible to throw anything else, or at least difficult to throw anything else. So yeah, for right now, I would focus in most of these waters out here on a subsurface game, because for the most part, that vegetation is not in yet. And I'm trying to think of what else I could think of. Rashawn Hunt, he is a cold wimp. You ain't kidding. He's not lying. By the time he gets back, snakehead will be a game fish. Oh my God, wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, that's to whatever degree I have lit that fire, and hopefully have it in the future. I know it's an invasive tournament we have here, and it's true. They are, federally labeled invasive. But like, without going off on that tangent, the idea of seeing snakehead eventually recognized, not truly as a sport fish, because that carries regulatory implications there, beyond, just having a creel limit and stuff like that. But one day, it will be near and dear to my heart if that happens. Yes, to see snakehead appreciated as opposed to being, kind of reviled out there.
That's all great stuff. Rashawn also says you're not coming back.
Lies on lies. I mean, bank on this, folks. So Adrian and I are both born and bred here in Maryland. Like all of our families back here in Maryland. It was a kind of a fluke in the sense that the match day for medicine is just insane. I'm not going to go into those details. Just suffice it to say, it is the strangest, most convoluted selection process I've ever seen for, basically doctors finding a job. If you don't know, here in the States, unless a doctor, even if you graduate medical school completely all the way through, unless you are accepted into a medical residency program and you are certified within that program, you can't practice medicine, period. It's really, really odd. But without that tangent, Adrian and I, born and bred Maryland, all family here, we're going to be back. He's going to fall in love with that. Never fall in love with downtown anywhere, at least not in the context of fishing. I have grown to appreciate some of the community you can have when you're a little more tightly knit, but I have to escape into nature. That's the way that my spirit is able to survive in civilization. Is I have to be able to get out into some natural environments every now and again. I need that release.
What are you guys living in Chicago?
Yeah, not like, we're not like dead smack in Chicago. We are about 20 minutes south of Northwestern Hospital, which doesn't probably help anyone out there for where that is.
Is Northwestern anywhere near the campus of Northwestern?
Yes, definitely.
So
yes,
Evanston.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So yeah, we're about.
I live there, so I have an advantage.
Okay, there you go, dude. We're about with a house we just are going to close on in May. We're about 10 blocks to the west of the shoreline on Lake Michigan.
Okay, so he's north of Chicago, about 20 minutes. Yeah,
it's right in that area, dude. Yeah. And there's I've looked at the rivers. I've been on Fish Brain. I've been checking out all the catches over there. So I'm doing my homework. I'm starting to. I'm not there yet. I'll get to where I need to be.
I mean, Chicago's cool. I liked my time there. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know as now that I'm not, 25 anymore. I don't know how much I would enjoy that. It's
we'll see. I have some plans over there to hook up with a few folks. Like one of our sponsors in the past, like with Legion of Anglers, has been Catch, like the Catch boards. He's actually out of Chicago right now. So I'm going to try and link up there with him and a few other guys that, I've had kind of loose, communications with and partnerships in the past. And hopefully they can decrease my spin up time to learn the game up there so I can get on the fish a little bit faster. That's the goal.
Right on. Well, Kambo, stick around as long as you'd like.
Yeah.
We're going to talk fishing for a little while longer, but obviously we understand you've got a lot going on. We're going to bring in Tommy Robinson, another snakehead guy, somebody that you probably know pretty well. Kambo. How you doing, Tommy?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What'd you say, Kambo?
Don't see him nearly as much as I'd like. We've been talking about hitting the water for years on years at this point. I mean, like Tommy and his team with Amped Up, I mean, in my opinion, I'm trying to rack my brain right now, but I feel like they really kind of blazed the trail on the snakehead tournament scene. So, I mean, much props and much appreciation to Tommy, you and your team over there, man. It was that was kind of my entrance into the tournament game, I think, was starting up with Amped Up, man. So love you, dude.
I love you too. Much respect for you guys, man. It's been a while since we've actually been in the snakehead game because we kind of stepped aside from that. But, can you guys hear me okay?
Sound great, bro.
Cool. So, yeah, man, first of all, Kambo, best of luck to you guys and your family going out there to Chicago. And, this was kind of like a sporadic thing. So I just jumped on. Scott said, hey, would you mind jumping on? And I see you got a full panel here, but I'm happy to be part of it. So, yeah, man, we got our own little thing going here with our little events, and we did bring in the Snakehead Gauntlet back for 2026, which it's all about the roots. It's bringing back the old school guys that like Steve and guys have been around for a long time and just made it fun, and it wasn't about the whole drama thing that let's face it, guys, when you start involving money and prizes and stuff like that, sometimes it brings out the bad in people. And it's unfortunate, but you know what happens? It could be in a knitting club, and you'll get some bad stuff going on there. And you guys know what I mean. It's like we're trying to bring it back to being fun, and just it's all about the trophy, and hopefully that kind of like, and mad respect for everybody that's kind of like done these tournaments since we kind of like stepped away. Is like Steve said, that we were kind of like the first to do a catch and release style, and that to me was always my thing, is because I don't like to kill fish if I'm not going to eat them. That's why I really never participated in some of the other earlier events, like not a knock on that, but just wasn't my thing. So I wanted to create something that was catch and release style, and we actually started that, but then it started to become more work than fun. And Steve, you know what that's like, and again, when you involve money and you bring in prizes, that it just brings out the worst in some of the people out there. And again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but this year we brought it back just for fun. So we'll see how it goes.
That's good stuff.
Like folks who haven't run tournaments, and now we're talking this panel here, everyone here knows, like folks who haven't run tournaments have no idea like how much work and stress can come with it. And it's like, you hope it's going to be fun, and a lot of times it is, but like managing the logistics and then making sure you have all the rules accounted for, and then making sure the rules are being adhered to, and like checking and oversight, and like questions and everything. And we're in it for the love of the game. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't care. Because trust me, folks, if you haven't done it, it's a lot of work. It's a lot to manage, like site selection, locations, making sure like the weather forecast is going to be okay, everyone's safe. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, from a participant standpoint, right? We all think about running a tournament, and like from a participant's where we sit, it's like, ooh, you're monitoring the leaderboard, and someone caught a fish and they went ahead of them, and then they went ahead of them. This is riveting. But you never think about any of what you just said, right? You never think about the person that wants to argue about a quarter of an inch, or if he caught that fish, inbounds or out of bounds, and everyone turns into I don't know, what's it?
A prima donna, we'll call it.
Yeah, and you can't make everyone happy. It's like you're gonna disappoint some amount of people. It's just you try to do the right thing. That's all you can do, is try to do the right thing.
Dude, we almost had a fist fight at our first tournament. I don't know if you remember that. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I'm like, come on, man. It's a freaking fishing snakehead tournament to have fun. And yeah, I mean, it got heated at the first event that we had, or one of the first anyway. But, again, it's not for everybody. Competition is always fun. We're guys, dude. We like to get out there. No disrespect to the girls, because there's some killer angler females out there that would kick most of our asses out there right now. Just because it's fun. We try to make it competitive, and you try to make it to where, you want to be the best of the best, So our tournament, I love the concept of our gauntlet tournament, where it's it basically puts everybody, including those that want to, fish from shore, fish from a boat, fish with live tackle. Again, no bow fishing, not a knock on that, but this is snakehead angling with a rod and reel.
Yep.
You can fish in the first 2 rounds. You can actually fish wherever you want. You can fish in a private pond stocked with, 20-pound snakes if you want. Good luck to you. You still got to get them to bite, right? It's not like this whole, live scope kind of thing, where people are bitching about that. Excuse the French, but you still have to get the fish to bite. So, you can fish in all these waters that you might think are the prime location for you. But I don't know about you guys, but I've had days where, I'm a carp guy. You guys know this. So, I'm on a quest to catch 1,000 carp this year, and I'm at 24. So I got a long way to go. But you know what? I'm challenging myself as a friendly competition to myself and the fish. That's the only people I have to compete against, is me and the fish. and so far the fish are winning right now. So, you know, again, I'm having fun, just, you know, making something out for myself. But, you know, cheers to, you know, like I said, everybody that's been out there trying to host tournaments. Lucky and Blessed does this whole month-long invasive thing, which is awesome. And, you know, Steve, you guys have done your thing in the past, and, you know, there's other events out there. And so, you know, if you're into having a good time and you're not all about, you know, you're not uptight about winning like $1,000 or, you know, some crazy ass amount of money, then, you know, by all means, sign up for any of these events, man, because it's a lot of fun. You know, it's a lot of fun. And, you know, Lucky and Blessed have the best mindset when it comes to what it's all about, and, you know, what they're doing right now. And I'm pleased to be here with you guys right now, because, you know, you guys, the motivation that you guys have, and what you put on, and what you do is super, super cool to me, man. So whatever I can do to help you guys out, to you know, to complete your mission, I want to be about that. So Scott and Grant, you know, dude, you know, you already know, man.
Yeah,
my boys, my team is actually behind you 100%. So,
well, thank you so much for that. I mean, I think, you know, I know Steve and Tommy and everyone in here has very strong beliefs, whether they be political or religious or personal. But I think, you know, when you look at Lucky and Blessed, and you know, the drive and goal behind getting people of all abilities out to be able to enjoy the outdoors and appreciate the therapeutic benefits that it's provided all of us. Yeah. That's a cause that I think all of us can get behind, regardless of our background.
Yeah, it's
100%.
Sharing the magic, right? That we all experience when we go out and we go on the water. I had to jump in here because these two guys, very instrumental. I had my old like crappy Dick's kayak, and I was at Mardella Springs, and all of a sudden this guy pulls up, two guys pull up, big kayaks, motors on them, like, what? And it was Tommy, and he's like, oh man, yeah, I got a fishing club. And I'm like, dude, I don't think I even caught a fish yet. What are you talking about, fishing club? He's telling me you got to come join our tournaments, blah, 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 blah. And that was actually my first snakehead I caught at Mardella Springs, not that day. I probably skunked that day. I'm like, why you have that motor? Like, so I could go all the way in where people can't. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a motor. Yep. And as you see my videos, I pretty shortly thereafter figured out that I was getting a motor.
Kambo, did you ever do the motor thing?
Oh yeah. I mean,
you went a long time without one, didn't you?
I used to take a lot of pride by like entering tournaments, yeah, like 10.5-foot sit-in or my pedal drive. So like if I could like go up against the guys with the motors and like the $5,000-$10,000 rigs and still beat them and all that. Then, you know, I hit a point, I'll never forget it. I'm trying to think if it might have been one of the amped up tournaments. It might have been, was that Tommy? I think it might have been like the final 5 out of Mariner Point Park one year. It might have been.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember the wind kicked up that last day. So if you didn't have a motor, you were pretty much screwed for sure.
It was that, and Jack Hare was in the tournament. It was like me, yes, Jack Hare, Eddie Weber, a couple other guys. I forget who the whole roster was, but I'll never forget launching at like lines in or launch time. And I watched Jack as we launched. He hit the throttle and the dude went up on plane in a kayak and was just gone. And I'm like, damn it. Because it's like when you get to a certain level of like competition, and I'm a competitive guy. Like I keep it under control, but I'm a competitive guy. No two ways about it. And it's like when you hit that certain level, having that motor, especially in a tournament, like it's kind of an equalizer, because like there's certain waters on certain days with certain conditions where you know where you need to be, because certain weather cuts out certain parts of the water as being viable. And the first person to reach that water that's going to be the good water is going to have a big advantage. And that was the day I was like, you know what? It's time to put my pride aside. But all the competition aside, I'll say this. Aside from a motor getting to you to where you want to be with a quickness and to some areas folks can't get to, at the end of a long day of fishing, when you could just sit back in your kayak, hit the throttle, and steer, whoo, that feels good, man. Especially
or if you're out in the middle of a storm at Blackwater.
Yeah.
Remember that time, Steve?
Yep.
So I got to tell this story because this is my first. I actually got Butch Huber to be my guide because I was after I caught that first snakehead by accident. I was bass fishing, got a little Guggen craw, but after that I could not catch a snakehead. So I hired Butch, and of course I show up, and who's there? All the big snakehead guys, and I'm like, Steve, Rashawn, I mean, like, you know, all of them, right? I mean, there was like three or four other guys, big time snakehead guys, and no chance of a storm anywhere on anybody's weather. And we get all the way in, and all of a sudden, oh, man. And it was like a mad dash to get out of there. And Rashawn's still fishing. He's like, I don't care, I'm catching a fish, and he did.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
He caught one right at the end, and there was like lightning striking over here. I'm like, guys, we got to go.
And this wasn't even a tournament. This was just a day out fishing.
It was
a day out fishing.
You know,
Rashawn,
but I didn't catch a fish that day, but I went back the next day, I think, and I got a 27-incher right there. So that was just, you know, part of my journey, right? I mean, both of these guys. And of course, Steve, the ongoing encouragement and education, that you provided. And Tommy, I tell you what, when I met Tommy, he really encouraged me because remember I said earlier in the show how being in part of a community and that sense of belonging was really a big part of my mental wellness when I was really crazy in my life, you know, and I needed that belonging. And Tommy was like, hey, man, come hang out, come. Like it was the representation of just that welcomingness of the fishing community was wrapped up right there in Tommy Robinson. I mean, like, what a big influence. And here's the coolest thing. Our very first partner that we did events with was Chad and all the boys over there at Amped Up Outdoors. And I literally was just talking to Chad. He said he couldn't hop on tonight, but we're probably going to do a collaboration in June together. So with the Amped Up guys. So love both of these guys. And just thank you so much for all your inspiration and support over the years. Both of you very instrumental in Lucky and Blessed Fishing even being a thing. So
love what you're doing, Scott. Happy to help.
Absolutely. Scott, you're incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Well, we have amazing team, man. Amazing team. And you know, I'm really lucky and blessed with the folks that we have putting this thing together. It's just been incredible.
I almost paused for a second, and you know, when you told the story about Rashawn catching a fish in the thunder and lightning, I almost paused and said, Rashawn, you may be a little hardcore. And then I was like, the dude's probably making a topwater lure right now. Like that's like telling that's like telling Mike Tyson he may have an anger issue.
It's funny with Rashawn, man, because like over in the Blackwater area, I don't know what it is. Put him in a kayak in the Blackwater area, and those fish have it out for him, dude. It's like I've gone plenty of days fishing with Rashawn with him out fishing me, not in Blackwater. I don't know what it is with the fish in Blackwater. I don't care if it's the Transquay King, the Chickamauga, Blackwater River. I don't give a damn.
They don't like him.
Whatever it is over there with those fish, dude, they hate him. I don't know. So it's like that day you're talking about, Scott, when he was like, I'm catching a fish. He's like, I'm not getting skunked today. Like that's what
yeah. Oh no.
He pulled it out at the end with like in like the last like 30 minutes to an hour, like I think about 100 yards from the ramp after we had been way out and then way back. Yeah.
Stubborn pride, you know.
Yeah, I think that's always been kind of the Blackwater thing. It's like everyone's like Blackwater's where it's at to catch snakehead, but you can catch a skunk there.
I've taken that drive several times and caught the skunk there.
I tell you what,
fantastic, but it can. I mean, and that's the thing for us Western Shore guys, right? Like, especially when you're first getting into snakehead. This is my story of like watching Kambo's videos and watching other people's videos and being like, man, we go to Blackwater, we're gonna pull in snakehead hand over fist.
It'd be so easy.
And then on your way back, you were like, damn, that was a lot of driving for a skunk.
And your arms sore from casting and casting and casting and casting.
Well, and then you're stuck in like return traffic from Ocean City trying to get home, and what should be like an hour and a half drive turns into 3.5 hours. And you're just sitting there with a skunk on your mind the whole time, hot in the heat. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. It sucks.
You're like, I could have gotten skunked in my backyard, right?
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
But then
It
then there's catching that dragon and that feel, that experience, that flailing fish that's about to smack you in the face.
100%.
Actually, you probably get smacked a few times in the face, right, Steve?
Yeah, but I like it. I encourage it.
Hey, funny story. The very first shirt that I sold with an amped up old school logo with the equalizer bars. Guess who bought that shirt? Rashawn Hunt.
There you go.
Very first one, dude. He's always been super supportive. So horns up.
Yeah. Rashawn's always supported us too. When he got his Master Angler Award.
Heck yeah. He was there at the Bass Pro, right?
He donated his gift card to Lucky and Blessed Fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Cool dude, man. Cool dude.
Hell yeah.
Chana Argus says, my best trip to Blackwater was my first. Nothing will beat the first time we put snakehead in the yak. I don't think I put a snakehead in the yak for like 3 or 4 trips to Blackwater.
It was him and me. We launched from 335 back in the fall of, I want to say 2017. That was him and me on our first trip. And it's like once we both caught our first, then we kind of opened up the floodgates that day. And I think we both came back with like 5 or 6, and we were so proud. We looked like little kids and holding up our stringers of snakehead on our old metal clip stringers and all this kind of nonsense.
Do you have that picture?
Oh yeah. I'll have to send it to you, dude. Yeah, 100%. Cool. I still have it. You can tell how old this is by looking at the the pixelation on the even back then on the old digital cameras, man. It was ridiculous, but yeah, heck of a trip.
So my very first trip to that I discovered snakehead in the Blackwater area. I caught them, in the Potomac watershed, like at the tidal basin in DC. I don't know. It's been at least 12, 13 years ago. But my very first trip down there, I used to go down there and catch those little, every once in a while you get a nice crappie, but most of them were like cookie cutters, off the bridge at Drawbridge and New Bridge, Transquakin and Chick. And I went down there and I, we were catching, my brother-in-law and I were catching little, every other cast, we were catching a little crappie like this big, and occasionally catch a white perch or a bass or sunny or something like that. But I went down to the boat ramp, and to wash my hands, and I saw a snakehead about this big. Dude, it wasn't, I'm telling you, it was, a very, very juvenile snakehead. And it came up and gulped air as I was washing my hands. And it's like, I don't know, February, March. It's super cold. And I'm telling you, this was way, way before YouTube, any of that stuff took off. Before Kaz, I love you, brother. Before your, implosion. But it was my brother-in-law and I down there crappie fishing. I saw one come up to the surface, and I couldn't believe it because I was like, there's no way that there's snakehead down here, all the way across the bay in this remote river. And Steve, I think it was maybe a year after I met you at Unicorn. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
That time I met you at the, you were down there trying to catch trout when you were Kambotrout, before Kambo Snakehead Jesus, before I dubbed you that. But yeah, it was kind of weird. And I was like, I think that was a snakehead, dude. Like there's nothing else that would come up and gulp air like that. And I went to 335 a month later in this kayak, in a sit-in kayak, way before there was such a thing as sit-on-top kayaks. I went there with the ultralight rod, 4-pound test, little teeny, crappie jigs and a bobber at 335, and I launched and I went over top of those stumps. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Right outside the catch crappie, because that used to be a secret spot. Only the locals down there kind of knew about it. And right away, I'm like, I hooked into something. I'm like, what in the world? Oh, pop, gone. And I did it again. Pop, gone. And the third one I hooked, again, 4-pound test, not ideal situation. And The third one that I hooked, I got it all the way to the boat, and it was like a 20 something, yeah, maybe 20-inch snakehead, not a big one. But I was like, oh my God, that's what's breaking me off. And I was blown away. And I went down there the entire spring, summer, fall before I told anybody that there was snakehead down there, dude. And then I met One Rod, One Reel. I know you guys know this kid. Yeah, he's like a YouTube sensation that kind of just vanished. But anyway, I was talking to him, and he was like, dude, you really need to start YouTube, and take a camera and do all this stuff. And, again, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I started to do it. And, I went down there and started to film, but I didn't know how to edit videos at the time. I'm, an old dude, have no clue on how to do any of that stuff. And my son started working with me and started doing it. And then we got hooked up with a buddy of mine, Matt Palm, who was friends with my daughter. Long story short, we started filming together, taking them down. He was like, I want to catch a snakehead. Next thing you know, dude, it's like snakehead blew up down there in the whole Blackwater area. And it was great until it became a point where you had to get there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, dude.
And the trash started.
Parking lots were full. And
it just became
trash.
Yeah, and trash everywhere. And they just ruined the spot so much to the point where I didn't even want to fish down there anymore. After a couple of years, I'm like, I didn't even go there for 3 or 4 years just because it was dude, I really don't enjoy that kind of fishing anymore. It's I don't want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get down there to race to, cast 1,000 times to catch 5 fish. I'm like, it just became unfun for me. But that's when the whole snakehead implosion happened. And that's when we started doing, actually, I want to give, credit to where credit is due. And that's the whole, South, that whole scene started with the catch and keep tournaments, you know what I mean, at Wolfert's, with those guys, Kaz and that bunch down there, and they started doing that. But I was like, man, I really don't want to kill fish just for bragging rights, because I don't want to kill a fish just to say, oh well, yeah, I caught this, and I'm not going to eat it, kind of thing, because I wasn't a fish eater, Although snakehead are delicious, by the way, they are very good eating fish, but yeah, again, I'm not trying to take over the show on my whole story of how it all happened, but it's funny how, and it's been years now. It's been 10 years, at least 10 years since since I caught snakehead down there, and then the tournaments have started going off and evolving and blah blah blah, and then here we are, full circle, man. 10 years later, and we're still debating whether or not these fish are invasive. So, Scott, my thing to you and Grant is, are you planning for anything to happen as far as snakehead becoming a game fish? Because to me, the way I see the way the health of the bay is right now, you got blue cats taking over, decline of the rockfish, which is the prized fish ever since I was born and beyond that. Scott, you're even older than I am, but sorry, not to put you on blast there, but
a lot older, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we went through the moratorium, right? I was a kid in the early '80s. You couldn't even keep rockfish then. They had the whole ban on it and stuff like that during, up until I think 84, 85 when they opened it back up. But you couldn't even catch a rockfish. And now it's kind of going in that direction where, and now you have this, no regulations on snakehead, no regulations on blue cats, which, I'm not too prone on that, but snakehead is the next big game fish in the Chesapeake Bay region, in my opinion. And they need to kind of come up with some kind of, some sort of season or just regulations for them, because they're good eating. They can grow anywhere in the bay, as far as at least in the brackish part and freshwater parts of the bay.
Yeah.
And why not?
I've actually witnessed them trying
to
migrate in the saltier areas, and they struggle. I mean, they look like they're
totally
drunk. They look like they're like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm sorry to interrupt.
Like kryptonite.
No, totally agree with that. I mean, I know some crabbers. My friends are really cool with Luke McFadden. You know, they went to school with him, and he's a big crabber here in this area, and he's done videos where he's caught them in his crab pots and stuff like that, and you can tell that that's not their environment out there in the state, mainstream of the bay. But up in the upper estuaries of the bay, it's definitely growing. They're in pretty much every river now. I mean, the Patapsco, Back River, Stony Creek, in Marley Creek, every area around here, they're in every single creek now, which is cool because I went fishing today down the street from my house, and I didn't have. It's early yet in the season, but I've heard kids like saying that they come down there and like, "Oh yeah, have you seen any snakehead yet?" I'm like, "Not yet," but say, "Oh yeah, I caught one." This big last year. I'm like, good for you, dude. Because, how many rockfish are you catching in the creeks these days this big? You're not.
So here's my answer. Here's my answer. I think it already is. I think it already is a game fish. And I think what determines that is
to the anglers,
is the commerciality of it. Is that I don't even that's the right word. Commercialization. Thank you. That's the word. Because of look at all these lure companies. I mean, there's a new one every week. The new frog company, a new lure company, a new inline spinner company, a new right.
Oh yeah, certainly.
That's because it's kind of a supply and demand thing, but it's also a momentum thing.
Yeah.
Right. You guys all go to the shows, like the fishing flea markets there, that they have, early in the season.
See my booth behind me. This is how we look. We should get a freaking best booth award at every.
Hey, Cambo, can you send the link to Rashawn real quick?
100%.
Just saying. Look at this.
But yeah, I mean, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, even when you went to those shows, it was always parachute lures. You know what I mean? Just like
right. Big,
umbrella rigs and all this stuff, and it was all rockfish. And every year in the last, I want to say 8 years plus, those booths have been growing with, these snakehead lures manufacturers, guys, locally, and the snakehead lures have been taking over these shows. So why not put, an emphasis on making snakehead the next rockfish in Maryland? Because that to me is like the ultimate goal should be to protect these fish and have some kind of limits on it. Because where I live right now, I caught a couple of nice fish last year, and I stopped fishing for snakehead for a long time, a couple of years at least. And they started popping up. Obviously, I'm going to see them. I'm going to try to catch them, and I did. My wife and I were down there fishing for carp and catfish or whatever, and you start seeing these fish pop, and you throw a frog over there and you catch one, and you're like, oh, this is cool. Next thing you know, the bowfish boats are there because my dumbass posted the video, and now they just kind of disappear. I'm like, again, I'm not knocking those boat fishermen because it is within their rights. It's the law. They can do that. And they're good eating fish. And if I was a big fish eater, trust me, I would definitely be into bow fishing to go out there and catch my limit, or if there is such a limit, which there isn't. But you decimate places that once had a lot of nice big rockfish in it. I mean, big. So I'm going back to rockfish, but you know what I'm saying. They had a lot of decent snakehead that grew, and I don't care what anybody thinks, and scientists can kind of disagree with me, but I don't care what it takes. But if you have a trophy fish, and to me, a 30-inch 30-inch snakehead is a dragon, right? Or 10+ pound. That fish does not get that big in 3 years. I don't care what anybody says, whatever, food source they have. They definitely get bigger quicker on the western side than they do on the eastern side, just based on my observations, because I think it's a lot more food sources over here than it is over there. in the rivers that they're at, like Blackwater, for instance, opposed to like Middle River. You see the thickness in the fish. They get really, really thick, really, really fast.
Oh yeah.
But it still takes several years for a fish to get to be 30 inches plus. And if you go in there with the bow and the light,
let's welcome Rashawn Hunt into the show.
Oh, that's Rashawn. I was about to ask this gentleman to have his son, Rashawn
Hunt, come on. Look out! Look out!
What are you playing, Xbox there, man? You got the headphones on?
Man, I'm just messing with him. Rashawn's actually the only one of us that doesn't look like he's gotten any older since the last time I've seen him.
No, he does. He is old, actually.
Oh, we can't hear you, Rashawn. You've been sitting there that whole time. We can't hear you.
Well, if he can't talk, now we got to make some more fun of him, man. He can't fight back.
Now's the time. Hit him when he's down.
Give him a minute. It's his knees, man. Give him a minute.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think almost every live I've done for like the last, I don't know, for probably the last 3 or 4 years, Rashawn has at least stopped on to say hello. So if the man comes in here and he says, "Can I jump on?" He's jumping on.
That's because he's bored.
I'm gonna tell you, like Rashawn, like he's been in the game with snakehead longer than just about anybody I know. And when I say that, I mean like he was raising snakehead in tanks back in the day before it was made illegal to have them. You know, it's like he knew about snakehead before I knew what a snakehead was. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Rashawn, a lot of times the trick is just to drop out and come back in. If everything else seems fine, just drop out and come back in.
Yeah, it's always. I feel like he always has one audio issue or another, man. But yeah, I mean, for what Tommy was saying there, dude. Yeah, it's like no other fish can take a creek where at best you're catching some panfish or like a few fish here and there and turn it into a sport fishing creek. And it's like bow fishing for me, it's not the technique that bothers me. Like if you want to have an argument about which one's more difficult, I'm going to argue rod and reel all day long. And that's not because I don't think there's any skill with bow fishing. Like I shoot myself, you know, when it comes like as a sport, just the practice of, you know, like marksmanship. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. Where it comes down to what Tommy's driving at is managing snakehead as a resource instead of as a nuisance. Like that's the crux of the issue. And until you have some type of limit on it, like it's going to continue to be that issue where someone can come in and clear out a creek. And then instead of having a shared resource, you're having, you know, a resource essentially being consumed by a very small, you know, percentage of the population. That's the issue that I take with it. It's not the issue of the practice itself. I like to err on the side of freedom wherever possible. It's an issue where if it's a shared resource, we should treat it like it and, you know, value that resource.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
We gotcha.
I'll just say one thing before we talk to Rashawn for a bit, but it's never a good look when, you know, anglers and bow fishermen are having this heated debate because it's really not, you know, the bow fishermen are in their right to participate in that. It's not like their responsibility. It's obviously you know, just like with angling or any other thing, it's the people who make those decisions responsibility to put those limitations in place so that, you know, everyone can enjoy the resource responsibly. Because unfortunately, as we all know, left to our own devices, people will not enjoy the resource responsibly. How are you, Rashawn? How you been?
Man, I've been working in school, back to school.
Oh, so, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I go to school for digital media productions and 3D design. So that's how I've been making my lures.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's something to do because Steve's leaving. So
I say you need to get in that Premiere Pro class so you can start teaching me some tricks, man.
Yeah, that's my next class coming up for the summer.
Yeah,
but other than that, I just been designing stuff and working. I'm not going to get into that whole situation because, you know, I work for the Department of Army. So I just leave it at that. So stuff has been we've been busy.
You might be even busier. Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. As I said, brother, I'm working in data center construction, man. When I tell you it's insane, my sweet baby Jesus, it's the craziest job I ever had. I don't care, military, civilian, any job I ever had. I ain't never had a job this fast paced, but that's not a conversation for this live.
Hey, Scott.
Hey.
Are you retired?
I'm just tired.
No. Happy
I will never
retirement,
retire.
brother.
I will never retire. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have a couple businesses that help me, that help kind of fund this thing, and help me to, be able to stay afloat while I funded this thing. And the good news is that now there's other things like grants and corporate sponsorships and partners that have started to sponsor this thing. And, which is why we're here really tonight, in part, is to kind of, talk about Lucky and Blessed and all that stuff. But
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll never be retired. There's too many things. There's too many problems to fix in the world. That's just, I'm just, and this was just one of them, right?
Yeah. Now, good calls, and I know you stay busy. I was just kind of like busting your chops a little bit, but what about you, Grant? I see some guitars in the background there.
When Kathy retired, I said, hey, I need a secretary and a director of administration. And speaking of data centers, she used to work for Wilmot Modular.
Yeah.
And pretty big company up there in the White Marsh area.
Nice.
When she left, they had to hire 4 people.
Oh, wow.
So she's running all of our back end stuff, and lucky and blessed.
There you go. Hell yeah.
So,
well, Rashawn, why don't you tell us about the lure you're working on, and then maybe we'll all give Kambo a send off before
I get in trouble.
Can we sing Kumbaya?
Can you still hear me, right? You can still hear me, right?
We can still hear you.
Yeah, we got you, dude.
So I'm working on two new frogs and a hard bait, and I've kind of went into the realm of striper right now too. And then since Chad from Amped Up, I started running through some carp stuff. So I don't just fish for snakehead, I do for everything, but yeah.
My dude.
So the hard bait is actually pretty cool. I'm just going to tell you, it's a snakehead pattern hard bait. So I know a lot of people will like it. They might not even use it. It looks too good. They might just put it on the shelf.
Yeah, and make a display lure.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then, like I said, I'm working on I got some striper jigs already on my website now. So.
And I know you lure makers is really just making stuff to catch anglers.
No, to be honest, Steve, I don't, because honestly, I'm trying to make a lure that everybody can.
I know, I'm kidding.
Like, I don't want to make it too expensive, and I don't want to copy anybody. So everything I have is always something I thought of, and I always run, and we all know everybody runs into drama, and there's no way. It's just nowadays, it's what it is. I'm not gonna go into, like Tommy said, but you know what I'm saying. It's just, and Steve would tell you, like for tournaments, I just fish tournaments just to support people. And Tommy would tell you, I won't even fish. I won't even get up out of my bed to go.
He won't, man.
I just support the tournament because
like he'll just pay the entry fee and then stay in bed.
So you're saying you're joining our tournament tonight?
I might. I was thinking about it.
I think that's what he just said.
I was thinking about it.
All right. Okay.
But if I
prizes,
you kind of just cast your die on that one, Rashawn.
Yeah. But if I miraculously get a gauntlet invite, I might fish the gauntlet.
Actually, it is 100% open right now because we were having issues with the whole invitational thing. So yeah, just sign up, dude, and say you're going. 100%.
Well, I brought Conrad back in because, I mean, basically anybody that's out there catching other fish for other tournaments, just drop your code for our tournament right there.
There you
so
go.
you can be double hitting these tournaments. And man, we got thousands of dollars of prizes.
There you go.
Prizes.
You'll see my name in there in a minute. I've been so busy with the move and work and everything else. I ain't signed up yet, but you're going to see my name.
I wish it was a team tournament so I could fish one last time with Steve. But
hey, there's a team option. There's a team option that saves you $10 a person. You just need 5 people. It was $250 for 5 people, so it saves you $10 a person. There's no team competition, but there's a discount if you can convince 4 friends to get in with you.
Hey, we got a team right here.
That's easy enough, man. Yeah, we can do that.
Me, Kambo, Rashawn,
and you can sponsor. So you can also sponsor Legion of Anglers or Amped Up, whatever, can sponsor a team, right? And then you can charge each one of those members more than what it costs. I'm kidding. You're gonna raise money for your team.
like that idea though.
This may be sacrilege too, since we got a bunch of snakehead guys on here, or past and present snakehead guys. But the biggest blow up I've had on a topwater bait in this region is the rockfish by far.
Well, I mean,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
once you get like that cow range, I mean, like you're talking about a blow up from a cow, that's a whole different class of fish, man. Like biggest snakehead you're gonna get is gonna be like 15, 20. Those cows when they hit on top, my God, even a 30, even like a mid 30s fish on top is insane. When
it's like you drop a cinder block in the water sometimes.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that my favorite two fish to catch are definitely rockfish and snakehead. My favorite topwater experience, and you got to go look at the YouTube page, 2 bluefish, big bluefish, on the same topwater lure hit at the same time. You see this huge explosion of water. I'm reeling this thing like, this must be a huge bluefish, and I'm like, it's 2 fish. What? It's 2 fish. And so it had troubles on it.
I was with you on that trip, wasn't I?
Caught a separate fish.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Weren't you and I together with Cole or something on that trip?
Matt was on the boat, and it was Cole. Yeah, Cole Langley.
Cole, yeah, I was with you.
Desperate Measures Fishing. Yeah. So fun. I won't eat them because they're too stinky and slimy and fishy.
Oh, bluefish are delicious. I would love to catch them. Eat them quick.
Don't tell me to smoke them and eat dip, because that's still too fishy for me.
If you eat them quick, eat them day of. Like that's not a fish you can afford to not fillet that day or eat the following. You got to eat it that day, man. But if you
I like my fish to taste like chicken, like snakehead.
Hey, you ain't got no arguments here. I got snakehead in the freezer right now.
Not everyone's here.
Yeah, smoked bluefish is delicious, by the way, if you do it right. If you have a smoker and someone that knows a good recipe for it, it tastes like jerky. It's delicious, man.
Delicious.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
Now that everyone's here, I want to pose a question. Do you think snakehead fishing has already hit its peak and it's starting to decrease, or do you think it hasn't hit its peak yet and it's still getting better?
I know why it decreased.
All right, here we go. Try to answer that.
That's a tough one, man.
It's kind of like semi.
I'm going to abstain because I'm not.
It's not political. Somebody wasn't doing anything. He wasn't making any videos.
Conrad, I can tell you right now, dude. Like with seeing how it started off in like the Potomac and then the Patuxent and then Blackwater, and now they're pretty much in damn near every single body of water. It's not even started, dude. Like I think you're going to see a lot more fish reports caught from like reservoirs, ponds, places that you probably didn't want to see them pop up. You know, even myself included, being someone that loves catching trophy panfish like Steve and Rashawn. You know what I mean? It's just like we haven't seen it yet, dude. I really think that the implosion is coming in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's why I said I think that the DNR needs to kind of like look at this as like the next rockfish for Maryland, because it's great for table fare and it's a great sport fish. I mean, I don't fish for them as much as I used to, but in freshwater, there's no better blow up that I've experienced on a freshwater pond, creek, river than a snakehead on a topwater lure, man. It's incredible. It blows your mind.
It's the pop. Nothing pops like that.
It gets your heart pumping, man. Like the fight itself could be, 5 seconds to 5 minutes if you're lucky. It's just that initial, and then they fight like crazy when you get them in the boat and want to put a hook in your leg. But it's just they're a unique fish when it comes to like that initial strike. To me, it's like it kind of reminds you of like Grant said, a topwater popper catching a cow striper. It's great rockfish on in 3 foot of water on a 5-inch popper bait. It's something like that, but you can do that in like inches of water, and these fish grow in places where you might not even catch any other fish.
Yeah.
You know, they're growing in sediment ponds. Or, you know, whether or not they're being introduced by human or by bird, or, you know, they're kind of like crawling across the land, like you heard that they were this crazy fish that, you know, was going to eat your dog. But they're everywhere now, man. I mean,
well, you know, come on, guys, tell the truth. This is why when we drive by a big puddle on the side of the road, we're like, what if there's a snakehead in there?
Double take.
Every single time, dude.
It's very possible that there might be a snakehead.
Yeah,
totally. I want to piggyback on Conrad's question. Great question, by the way. I don't know, that might count as question of the night, but to kind of direct it towards Steve, isn't the science of this, and I've heard as species go through these cycles that they kind of level out size-wise. So do you think we'll start seeing less big fish and more, you know, just like with rockfish, you go out and you catch, you know, 20, 17 inches, or you know what I'm saying? In those certain times of the year, do you think we're going to get into that where we'll see less big fish? And, you know, is that a thing?
So I don't think so in terms of size. What we're going to see is stabilization in the overall population, as in like the overall quantity of fish. We will see that just based on environmental pressures and then human fishing pressure. But the size, it's actually true that a certain level of harvest is actually good for incentivizing the size, because the more fish you remove from the environment, the more forage base you have for the fish that remain. So in terms of the overall size, I think we're still going to see records caught like fairly regularly, probably for the next, you know, probably decade, or, you know, even beyond that. Honestly, it'll come down to management, but like in terms of whether or not like snakehead have hit the peak, nowhere near it. Right now, snakehead are still novel for a lot of people. They're still new, whether that be on your dinner plate or whether that be, you know, in terms of fishing and catching one. And they've made inroads up and down the eastern seaboard, you know, from New York down south through Arkansas. And like those other states, like Maryland, it's gotten fairly popular, but still a lot of anglers really aren't that familiar with it. Virginia, Delaware, yeah. Pennsylvania, still pretty new. New York, still very new. Jersey, growing, you know, but I mean, that's just these states. And like you probably heard before in a seminar at some point, they've made it into the Mississippi River drainage system. That opens the whole country. So it's like we haven't even neared the peak, because eventually they're going to be literally everywhere all over the United States. And that's going to be like a big game changer there. Like once they're in all the waters that bass are in, and once bass fishermen begin to catch them, you'll have the same thing that we went through here, that we're still going through. You're going to have, you know, the quote unquote old heads who are going to be like, damn invasives. And then in those same places, you're going to have the kids who are going to grow up with them and be like, it's just another fish in the water. And a matter of fact, it's a lot of fun to catch. Matter of fact, it tastes really good too. And it's going to kind of go there in that same kind of cycle that we dealt with here through all these other states. Like we're nowhere near the peak for snakehead, nowhere near it.
So they may follow you there to Chicago.
Maybe.
I'm putting
that would be cool. That would be the ultimate Kambotrout Midwest edition. Kambo finds a snakehead in Chicago.
I'll be watching the
Let's go.
We all know the fishing community can be a little, how do we say this? Special. They would all immediately, everyone would say that Kambo brought them there, right?
They got to prove it. They got to prove it.
But hey, I got to jump on piggyback on, because Steve would tell you we know this one spot that is all the fish are all these little sizes.
Yep.
And the snakehead and the crappie.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy might know because he made a comment on my post about it when I was made the video where I was at. But they're all, if you got too many of what fish in there, you're not taking them out, they're all going to be the same size. So, and another fish that could dominate takeover is crappie.
Yeah.
They could really mess up a fish population when they take over in there.
And I love crappie, but he's 100% right. It's like there's so many crappie in there that like your average size crappie is what, like 4 inches?
Yeah, when you get lucky, when you catch slab.
Yeah, selective harvest actually does wonders for a lot of waterways, especially landlocked waters that, like you said, where you have stunted panfish, or we have what's called the bog around here. It's just it's fed by the Magothy, but it's really, really small stream. but the average snakehead in that pond is probably 18 to 20 inches, and not much bigger than that, because I don't know of anyone that's actually caught one bigger than that. But it's still cool because, you know, kids can go there and catch, you know, a ton of fish on top water and, you know, just walking through the woods and, you know, taking a little rod there and stuff like that. But it is true. I mean, you definitely have waters that can grow bigger fish, and some that keep fish stunted. Like for instance, the Transquaken, you know, was for the longest time, you know, there were so many stunted crappie in there. Like that's what I was saying when I was, you know, fishing for crappie at that bridge. We would just go just to catch. Didn't really care. We didn't keep anything, but you know, and that was the day that I went and washed my hands at the boat ramp and saw, you know, that little small snakehead come up in Gulf Air 10 years plus ago. And just after that, then it imploded. But, you know, now you can go down there and catch a 30 plus, you know. It's hard now because so much pressure there. But, you know, in years past, like 5 years ago, that was one of the best places to go. However, you know, guys went there and took a lot of those 30 plus inch fish out of there. Now the average, as far as I know, maybe some of the guides and guys that fish down there a lot more. I haven't been down there in a couple of years, but it was a challenge to catch a fish that was that big, 30 plus inches in the last 5 years. So,
Yeah.
And you also fair to think that a lot of people are not just snakehead, but they're overfishing the other species and taking stuff they shouldn't take. And some of those smaller fish actually keep population down of fry of everything.
Yeah.
But when people keep taking everything and they'll be like, oh, we don't have these fish anymore. Snakehead ate them all.
Yeah. Blame it on the snakehead.
Yeah, blame it on the snakehead. But when you got people who got 2-3 buckets of white perch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yep.
But I did want to say something about top water. And Steve would say this. We were catching striper on top water with snakehead. Remember?
Yup.
We were frogging striper with snakehead together.
Nice.
That was one of the like big learning points for me, because I cut my teeth snakehead fishing in Blackwater, and I was like a tried and true, dyed in the wool, work your frog slow kind of guy. And then I was up on the upper bay one day, and I saw in the distance I could see fish busting and breaking on top, and I'm like, man, to hell with it. I'll go over there and check it out. I'll catch some striper on top water. And I got over there, it wasn't striper. That was snakehead. And they're mixed in with bass and striper, but that was snakehead. And I started to just I put on a white frog to mimic what they were chasing, because they were chasing peanut bunker. And I just started ripping that frog. And I tell you what, snakehead, like a lot of other fish, are just highly adaptable. They're not a specialized feeder. So whatever forage is in the area, they're going to eat it. And I started ripping that frog. And I'm telling you what, that was almost, it's not the same. If you haven't yet, and you listen to this, if you haven't watched the videos in Thailand for like Toman, the giant snakehead, watch how fast they rip those buzz baits and lures across the surface. It's nuts. It wasn't quite that fast, but it wasn't far off either. And when you got that giant like snakehead just pushing wake behind your lure and just charging at it, freaking fantastic. And yeah, catching them alongside the bass and the striper, awesome time. It was fantastic up there.
Yeah.
Well, John,
we are 30 minutes past.
Yeah, I was going to say
25 minutes past.
There
we go. I think the 6 people on this live could probably talk snakehead.
We got an all-star cast. We have an all-star cast here, including our up-and-coming young gun. This guy over here. The reason he's running our tournament is because he's a badass. This dude catches some serious fish, but he came out for some service hours for high school, and we couldn't get rid of him. He kept coming back. And we're like, all right, dude, we're going to make you in charge of the fishing contest at our fundraiser that we did in the fall. We raised 20 grand. He was part of that. Awesome. Right. And then he's still here. He's still, even after that, he hung around. We're like, great, you're running our tournament. He's like, all right, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
He was bummed because he couldn't fish it, but you know.
Well, man, we can have a little rule change there. Maybe we can work some out.
Yeah.
There you go.
You see Rashawn, man. Be careful.
That's pretty cool though that a high school kid your age would have the confidence and the wherewithal to be able to take on a tournament. That's
Grant,
that's
it
really
fits
awesome.
right into our mentor program, our after-school program that we're working on right now. We had some great conversations with Annapolis Middle School today about that. So excited, guys. Here's the deal: if you sign up for the tournament, it was $50. It's actually the early bird's over at $60, but it's $20 a month for our membership program. And really quick, let me talk about that. It gets you one of these cool invasive hats, blue cat, snake head, kick-ass hat, one of our LABF T-shirts, but you also get invites to special. And you guys know about these special member-only events, right? One of them is coming up on May 16th. So if you're a member and you come to our event on May 16th, well, if you're not a member, you're just going to hang out and you're going to fish off the shore, which is still going to be fun. If you are a member and you pay that $20 a month, this is one of those special lucky and blessed things that you get to come to. You're actually going out on a charter boat that day. So again, that's just trying to give you an idea of the special cool stuff. We're also working out discounts for some of our local partners that you'll have a coupon code. You can go to their website and get a discount on lures, yada, 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 yada. So $20 a month, you're in with us. You also can say, hey, I am every month making these events happen that you guys are doing because I'm there as, supporting you and alongside of you, right? $20 a month is, again, that we'd rather have $20 a month than $50 for the event. But that also $20 covers our fall tournament. All right. So our rockfish tournament in the fall, you're covered on that, right? So you're getting all this free stuff. You're getting the events every month that you can come to. We're going to have some events that are kind of podcast driven events as well. But anyways, that's what you want to do. And it's MarylandInvasive.com. Super easy. Hop on there, get it done. There's so many cool things happening right now at Lucky and Blessed. We were on WBAL TV. Actually, they came out last week. We're going to be on WBAL TV this week. WMAR probably in the next couple weeks after that. And you may know there's this guy, Jamie Costello. You may have heard of him before.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was on MAR. Him and I are talking right now. We met on LinkedIn. He's like, oh my gosh, what are you guys doing? You're blowing this thing up. He said, because he calls himself the storyteller. I said, Jamie, I got some stories for you. Mm-hmm. And so there's so many cool media things blowing up here. But you guys, again, thank you for always being here and supporting us and being a part of this. And Steve, I'm telling you, the Kambotrout Midwest version, I need like 15% because that was my idea.
All right.
Thank you guys really for everything. And thank you for being on. And always being here to support us. You guys are awesome.
I don't think I've talked so little in a live.
Because you got a lot of talkers here tonight.
And it's been amazing, right? It's like I kind of came in for a little bit halfway through the snakehead thing here in this area. And it's really been cool to hear some of the stories about early on and stuff like that. This has been great content tonight just to sit back and observe. Kambo, we're gonna miss you a ton, dude, but I know I owe you and Rashawn a trip. So Rashawn, you can cash that in whenever you want. And Kambo, I hope you know that anytime you're in town and you want to get in on some more of that topwater action that you and I were able to share that one time. I'm here and I'm just a call away. So, and that goes for anyone else on
that thing. Cow trip sucked. we didn't get to make it.
Yeah, but thanks everybody. Go ahead.
No, Tommy was throwing out the last podcast about donating some stuff to give away, and since he's here tonight, I think it'd be great to if he wanted to do a giveaway. I think he messaged me. He had some ideas. What are your thoughts on that? Because I got some names of people that signed up. In fact, anybody that's on the call tonight that's signing up, I can write your name on here and put it in here, and maybe you can win some of this amped up gear. Because I still have blank paper and a pen. I can put your name on here.
Thanks, Steve.
If you tell me now, you're going to sign up. So
I can give away a hat of choice of blue or burnt orange, and also the hoodie that I'm wearing right here, also in the same two colors. Which is
the same one. We're gonna have to smell. We're gonna get. If it comes with the smell of Tommy Robinson, it's worth a lot more than if it was just one you got in the closet.
Yeah, we don't want it to smell like cheesesteaks or whatever
or carp
or carp. Yeah.
Kambo,
I like cheesesteak.
I like cheesesteak too, but yeah, not with everything and fried onions. It's a bad smell. But yeah, I'll definitely give a brand new unworn hat or hoodie, and it's actually still hoodie weather because I froze my butt off today and needed this hoodie today on.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah.
Hey, before I wanted to say something because Tom and I had this conversation. All the events that goes on, people don't take it for granted because that's how you build friendship and a bond with people. And I know Tommy back in the day when he was doing tournaments, everybody was supposed to meet up. So everybody watching, if there's always something going on, just make sure if you can't make the tournament, just show up, you know what I'm saying, and do what you need to do and help build the community back to where it was and get rid of all the nonsense that we had and just fish because that's what we need.
Yeah, man, I love you, Rashawn. That's spot on. That's always our big thing is like the social aspect because I mean, let's face it, we can always fish together or we can fish alone, solo, whatever it may be. But when you start meeting friends, like Rashawn and I had never really met in person for years, and we talked to one another, online and stuff like that. And you build that kind of relationship, and then when you have these events and stuff like that, that's kind of like what drives me to do these things. Like our carpathon, I know carp fishing's not for everybody, but we got our event, and it's a good social event. You get to learn different methods of how to catch different fish, like this carp thing, and same way with the snakehead tournament.
Plug that. When is that? Give us a plug.
Our first event is April 25th, April 26th. It's Carpathon down at Haynes Point, which is in downtown DC on the Washington Channel. Again, it's a full weekend of a bunch of carp guys coming together, from all over the country. Some even from abroad, from like the UK, come and it's a fun time, and it's we food. I'm sorry.
April 25, 26.
Correct. Yeah, April 25th, 26th at the Haynes Point in Washington D.C.
Is there
and again, it's find us on our events on Amped Up Outdoor pages, which is Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. But you can find us. We're not hard to find. But yeah, definitely look up Carpathon. Just do a Google search if you have to. But it's again a fun time. And we also have our Gauntlet tournament, which is a 5-round tournament that starts next month. First 2 rounds are preliminary. You can kind of like just sign up. It was an invitational thing where we just made it open because we didn't want to leave people out that since we've been out of the game for a couple of years as far as like the snakehead tournaments, I didn't want to leave out people that should be a part of that. So we just made it the first 100 people, and we're not close to that mark. I think we're maybe a little bit past that, but sign up, go on our page, sign up, say going, and then you have first 1 and 2 rounds. You can fish wherever you like, any public, private water, however you wish to fish, rod and reel only. And the third round would be the top 30 people, and then 10 or 20 people, 10 people. So yes, it's a free to enter thing. It's all about the trophy, and it's all about just kind of like competing amongst a lot of people in the region that are like Steve and Rashawn, just really big snakehead guys that can go out there and beat your ass if you're not ready. But hey, they're willing to take the beating if you can last that challenge, because it's I think it's the best format that we've ever had as far as like our tournaments go. And to win that Gauntlet trophy that my son is working on right now, it's pretty much done. And it's not about money. It's all about bragging rights. And you say you beat the best of the best in the Mid-Atlantic, and that means a lot, man, because there's some serious good snakehead fishermen out there.
And here's what they can do, man. And thank you for sharing that. And definitely hit up the Amped Up Outdoors pages, guys, and hop on and get in that, especially free tournament. Why not? But guys, as you're in that tournament, and the species is it all snakehead?
Yes.
Yeah. So guess what? You can take those snakehead that you catch if you're in our tournament, and you can win a Florida fishing reel with a custom rod, or a trip out with Lenny Simmons from Simonizer, or blah, 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 all the different prizes that we have. So, guys, as you're looking at these other tournaments, hop on ours. You can just double hit these things. So,
yeah, good stuff.
You want to do the drawing, Scott?
I do. So we have some names in here, and I don't have any new ones. I don't see any new things coming across here. So no new winners for this tonight. All right, here we go.
Melody.
Is that right? Melody.
Yep, Melody.
All right.
Melody that I know. Is that
Melody
the
Renee.
Melody in the snakehead community?
Fishing princess. What is her handle? The Patapsco princess?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, she is awesome. We love Melody. Before she was like the president of the CCA of Baltimore, she used to come out all the time. So thank you, CCA, for stealing one of our best volunteers. I'm totally kidding. No, but Melody's so great. She does still come out and spend some time with us, but she is such a sweetheart. So Melody, what you won tonight is a amped up outdoors hat and an amped up outdoors sweatshirt. So, and you probably know Melody, right, Tom?
Absolutely. Tell her she can message. I'll send it to her.
You guys are kind of almost in the same hood a little bit, there, aren't you? Sort of, kind of.
Honestly, I don't know where she's living at, right now, but we'll link up together. That's for sure. It's cool.
Well, I'll definitely make the connection. Let her know what's going on there.
Cool.
But cool. I'm going to pass it back. Oh, and do we have like a question of the night? Because we also have so what was on the graphic? We were giving away some lure.
I think most people
it was busting baits, I believe.
Busting baits. Yep. So
we got just sort of sitting back and soaking in the history of snakehead tonight. There weren't a lot of questions. Fishing the DMV hopped in late asking, how do you think the harsh winter will affect snakehead? So if we want to, just sort of surprise him with a random prize, we can do that. Or we can,
Did anybody answer that question?
No one answered.
Oh, well, then no, that doesn't count.
We can let John answer that one.
It really didn't affect anything. I was talking
to answer right now.
So I was talking to Steve about that 2 days ago. So the area that we were fishing at, and it's not too deep, and it was frozen for like a long time. And when it thawed, there was the crappie and the snakehead were still there. And it seemed like it didn't do anything. Plus, they're cold water fish, so they're in like some stream parts of Russia and upper part of in China. So you know what I'm saying, they can adapt to that. And you can tell that they buried down in the mud because when some of the fish that were coming up, they were muddy. Wow. So yeah,
I was going to defer to you, obviously, to some of the people on this call.
Yeah, I literally was talking to him about that the other day, and I was like, man, the fish they had little. I saw like an 8-inch snakehead still alive, and I was like, dang. So it didn't affect them.
So now it's a legit question.
Yeah, my understanding had always been during a harsh winter, you could have the water that a snakehead was in completely frozen, and they would just sort of bury down in the mud and survive that winter. So we now have, as you're right, Scott, we have an official question. So if we want to give Fishing the DMV a prize, we can do that.
Let's go for
it. He looks like he's coming in from his YouTube channel. So,
and that just goes to show you guys, you can even come late to these things and not even sign up for the tournament, and you can win stuff.
Look at that. So I'll reach out to him on YouTube and see if I can get that address.
I still need an address for the guy from 2 weeks ago.
I know, but Ryan, all he does is come in and participate, and then he never checks any of his social media inboxes. So you never know if he never received any of his prizes. But anyways, thanks so much everybody for watching. Tommy, Rashawn, thanks for surprising us with your attendance tonight.
Gracing us with your presence.
Thank you. It's getting late. I'm
getting ready. I got you, bro.
I can finish your sentences, man.
I stopped my project. I was doing my school project. I'm in my screenwriting class, so I was writing a script.
Oh, nice.
And I saw it. I was like, oh, make sure I'm on.
Sam was watching the
Maryland
whole
was
time.
in
How
the
you
whole
doing,
time. I
Sam?
don't even know that.
One last reason to sign up for the tournament. Oh, there's like 3 85-degree days next weekend. You guys know what that means for snakehead fishing. So get in it before you get those warm days.
Look at this young man providing a hook.
That's
Look at this guy's he's a keeper, Scott. Everybody have a great night. And we will see you next Tuesday. Did you say Marcus?
Cha-cha fishing, man.
He's joining us next week.
Mark
Awesome.
Nicholas, I tell you, one of my favorite humans. Just a super great guy, amazing angler. I mean, anybody that can go in his 20s and go make a living on a kayak, catching huge redfish and tarpon, and just videotape. Like, that's his job. Like, when I grow up, I want to be him. Anyways,
right.
He's gonna be on he's gonna be on our show. Oh my gosh, I love that kid.
You'll grow up one day, Scott.
I know.
Anyways, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Lucky and blessed. Peace out.
See ya.